Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to Man Views. Now, usually in these videos, you will see me, comment regarding, both parents, would be the mom and the father going at it. But for this video, I want y'all to specifically focus on the actual court reporter. I have never in my life witnessed a court reporter so unprofessional, so biased, towards the mom. And also, you could tell she has some type of hatred for a man in her heart. And you can also tell she might most likely have baby daddy issues as well. Now, in a nutshell, the entire vid is about this mother that is requesting child support, but the whole time the child is living with the father for the past 6 months. I also want to give a quick shout out and credit to MTR and CourtWatchers for this video. As always, I will leave my comments and thoughts about the entire vid toward the very end of the video. Enjoy.
There's some disagreement as to where exactly the child lives. I think we just kind of need a determination on who is primary, and then I think we can actually send this back for some more negotiation.
Okay. Where does the child live, Miss Wilson?
He is supposed to be living with me. Since I filed for child support and a custody arrangement, because there's been too many disagreements between me and his father, he withdrew him from school and has kept him since this case has been pending. He's 5 years old and he did not enroll him in any other school, so now he's going to have to repeat the grade level.
Okay. So the child is living with you, Miss Wilson?
He's currently at his...
Ma'am, I need a yes or no. Is the child living with you?
He is not here currently, no.
Okay. How long has he not been living with you?
Since, I want to say January, December.
December or January. Okay.
Yeah. And he was...
And what did you do to get your child? What did you try to do to get your child back?
I called the police. They said their hands are tied. I'm going to have to take him to court. So that's what I did.
Okay. So you took him to court. When did you take him to court?
Right now. I filed
to... So you didn't do anything since December or January? You called the police. The police told you that...
I did not know where he was. He left. I had no clue where my child is.
The police told you it was a civil matter and y'all need to go to court, right?
Yes. So I was trying to get an attorney and I reached out to legal aid and then I filed for child support. And
what did legal aid do when you talked to them?
They kind of messed up my paperwork because I did not know where his address was, so they could not serve him. I recently found out where his address is. So now that he's been served, they finally said that they don't know if they can represent me until the end of the week because they've been messing my paper, basically.
Okay. All right. Mr. Navarro, how did you come into possession of the child?
About December. It was December 19th, the day of my son's birthday. I made the decision of just taking my son and moving out of my parents'
Why did you
house.
make that decision to just take your son, Mr. Navarro?
Just because of a number of things that had already been piling up. But the final straw was...
What things?
Well, the final straw was she had just gone to jail for assault or attempted assault with a knife on her boyfriend or her mother's boyfriend. And she did that while my son was present and her other son as well, her newborn. And then
so did she go to jail?
Yes, she did. And she went back as soon as she got back out for another altercation that I guess went on.
Okay. So you rescued the child. That's how you came into possession of the child.
Yes, sir. And it's also a number of things if you are okay with me listing all of that.
I'm listening to you, sir.
Well, since we had our she was around his first few months of life, but then we ended up splitting up. And right after that, she just was in and out. She was dumping him on me on days I was supposed to have him so she could go out. And then it slowly found its way to she just left. I guess she had stuff going on with her family. She was the main cause of a lot of the problems that she was having within her household. So I guess her mom gave her the option.
Let me say this, Mr. Navarro. I have problems with people who blame everything on the other person. Everybody is at fault. So
Just
she couldn't have done everything.
at that point, it pretty much was just that, just her not wanting to be around and her problems that she had within her family, and she ended up leaving to Kansas. There was no, I don't believe that I did anything to make that happen at all.
All right, I'm going to leave the child with Mr. Navarro. Now you can send them back to work out anything else they want to do.
Okay, thank you.
May I speak?
Sure.
I have not abandoned my child. I have always been in my child's life.
No one said you abandoned your child, Miss Wilson. The problem is that the child has been with him for 6 months because the child, the family code says if the child has been with him for 6 months, then you are going to have, I'm going to have to leave the child with him. Then y'all can go to the district court and work out whatever conservatorship things you need to do. But both of you are going to have attorneys for that.
Okay, and can I request for a temporary order?
Sure. I'm sure that's what they're going to do anyway when they go back and talk to you guys.
Okay.
Okay, you can put them back in the breakout room. Okay, you may continue.
So Mr. Navarro, do you believe that there's a risk that Miss Wilson might harass you or somebody who lives with you, that there might be some danger if she has access to your address and contact information?
Yes.
Why do you believe that?
There was an incident with my mother. She fist fought, kicked and scratched and bit her a few years ago. And she's also harassed my mother since I've had Ezekiel through phone calls, going to her house. And she's also harassed my wife through messaging. And they've also had a couple of altercations.
Okay. And so I guess you said there's been an incident with your wife, and your wife lives with you, I assume?
Yes. And
does your mother live with you?
No.
Okay. So what exactly happened when you say there was an altercation between her and your wife?
We're just 2 years of just back and forth, and it turned into her coming at my wife about fighting, and them just having, and then my wife blocked her, and she's made a fake account, and since then she's been lurking on her social media pages, and that's about all of that.
Okay. I apologize. There's someone in my house right now. If I could just close the door to reduce the noise a little bit. Okay, sorry about that.
Yes. She's also had other altercations with her mother that led her to be arrested, and an altercation with her other son's father that also got her arrested. And
do you have any sort of reason to believe that she might try to show up at your house uninvited if she knows where you live?
Yes.
Has she ever done that before?
Yeah, when I was living with my mother, yes.
Are you asking that she have a non-expanded standard possession order?
Yes, just the regular standard.
Okay. And why is it that you don't want her to have the expanded?
I just would rather, it's just really just preference.
Okay. Do you understand that with the normal extended possession order that that you and her wouldn't have to interact as much, that if
yeah.
Most days she'd pick her up from school?
I would just rather be the one to pick him up and drop him off to school, just to kind of keep that standard and routine for him.
State has calculated a proposed child support amount of $294 per month with medical support at $96 per month. Would you be in agreement with those amounts?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you in agreement? Do you have any insurance available through your employment?
No.
Are you in agreement to an order which provides that you would apply for government health insurance?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And I don't know if the judge is going to end up doing a temporary or a final order today, but if the judge does do a final order, would you be in agreement with the state's calculation of retroactive child support at $11,760, which accounts for that's basically the last 4 years minus 12 months where y'all had a 50-50 possession schedule?
Yes.
Would you be in agreement to have that amount paid off at $109 per month?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to bring to the court's attention?
I would really much prefer it to be a final court date right now, just because of so many things that have already happened, and I feel like for us to just make it temporary, it just costs us a lot of money to probably most likely be the same result of me maintaining custody. She's tried to commit suicide on multiple occasions of Ezekiel's life. The assault has always been a big thing. That's why I made the decision of taking my son away from that lifestyle, just because all these things were going on in front of him since he was 2 years old. I had to go pick him up because her and her mom just got into it. There's broken glass all over around my toddler. He's in right next to it, and I just didn't want my son to have to grow up in such a toxic household. And for yeah, and then it's just been a number of things. We haven't been able to at all come to any sorts of agreements, not even all the way down to tax money. For the first couple of years of my son's life, her mother was claiming him without letting us know anything. Was gone in Kansas. She left for, I think it was a little over 6 months, and when she did return, we didn't even know. And I can have my mom back that up. And when she did come back around, she slowly made her way into Ezekiel's life again. And I understand that she had a lot going on, but it is a lot of bridges that she burned herself. And I know that with everything that I've had going on in my life, I've never once left my son. He's been with me since the day he was born. It's 5 years, almost 6 now.
And I think there's one agreement that the two of y'all reached, and that's to have communications about your child take place on app close. Is that correct?
On what did you say? Sorry.
App close. It's a co-parenting app that.
Oh, I guess they told her that. I haven't heard anything of that.
Okay. Well, I mean, so I guess if you're asking that your contact information be left out, would you also be asking? I guess that's kind of an alternate way that you would have of being able to communicate with Miss Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Well, if this were to be a final hearing, I'd be fine disclosing my information to her and just contacting through cell phone. But if it is going to be a temporary, I'd rather do that and have the non-disclosure.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
All right.
Say we call the mother, Miss Wilson.
Yes.
Miss Wilson, do you believe that you and the father can work together to make decisions regarding the child?
I don't know. I've been co-parenting basically with his mother the past 5 years. Ever since he's turned 18, it's been a terrible experience since me and him have communicated on our own. He's very aggressive. He's constantly calling me out my name, cussing me out. Like the reason why he took him recently is because I was out with COVID and over a backpack that I forgot to drop off to him that I said I would bring to his school. That's what this is all about, over a backpack. The incident he's speaking of, I called the police because somebody put their hands on me, and this is in October. This has nothing to do with recently.
And that was kind of going to be my next series of questions. So has there been family violence between you and Mr. Navarro?
There has. And then his mother put his hands on me. There's a police statement with him as a witness telling the police that she hit me first when I was
specifically what I'm asking is if he's ever tried to harm you, and we can talk about those other issues here in a second, but I just want.
Yes, he's tried to put me in front of the car on the sidewalk. He's choked me, he slammed me. He's never actually like slapped me or punched me, but it's just like little stuff like that. I don't know if you consider that little, but stuff like that. And it was like wasn't all the time because we were young. We were in his parents' house, so obviously we can't just be wilding out in there. But yeah, there has been, but that hasn't been in the past 4 years. That was the first year of my son's life.
Based on that, are you also asking that your address be kept out of the court's out of the court record, and that you not have to provide your address to him?
Yes, and also with the altercation with his girlfriend, she attacked me twice, and the second time was in front of an officer. So y'all can pull up those records if y'all need to.
Are you currently employed, making about $100 a day, 5 days a week?
Yes.
State calculated guideline child support at $294 per month and medical support at $96. Would you be in agreement with that?
No, I want to have my son solely, or either we can share him half and half. I don't want to do that. I feel like it should be a fair agreement.
I guess, was there a time in the past that the two of you shared 50-50?
Yes, the first 3 years, the last 3 years, I've had him majority of the time just for the fact that he was in school and he was still underage, which is understandable. When we were both still in school, I had him 1 week, and then he had him 1 week.
Okay. And state calculated retroactive child support, taking off 12 months out of the last 4 years at $11,760. Would you be in agreement with that amount?
No.
And why is that?
Because I have always supported my child. I have been working because my family owned a business around that time. I have been working since I've been 12 years old. I've solely supported my child since day one. He hasn't even had a job since then. I can't blame him because at the end of the day, we were underage when we had our child. But I have always supported my child. So no, I'm not in agreement of that.
All right.
Also, I wanted, if this is a temporary order for now, I do want the expanded custody for now until we have a next hearing for the actual permanent order.
Is there anything else you want to bring to the court's attention?
Yes. The only reason he's been over there for 6 months is because I seen them in Oklahoma. He took him out of state without my permission. Also, it's been a long process for y'all to process this case. So that also racked up months on there as well. I did not wait 6 months to act on to get my child back. I took immediate action. I called the police. I've been trying to find where he lives. I already know where he lives. Like I didn't even go out of I've seen my child over there. I watch him from a distance because there's domestic abuse in his household where he's beating his girlfriend. I don't know if he's doing it while my child is there or not, but I don't want that around my child. He has a history of abuse. So does his parents while I was present. I've also had to help his mom pick up glass the next day from his father beating her. So his life is not perfect. I don't know why they try to make it seem like that, but
I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. I need both of you. I need you to unmute yourself, Mr. Navarro, because I need both of you. Okay, I'm entering a temporary order. I am finding that I'm granting the non-disclosure. You don't have to give your addresses, but I am going to order that Ms. Wilson pay child support in the amount of $294 a month beginning on September the 1st, and that she pay cash medical of $96 a month beginning September the 1st. I am not going to rule on the retroactive child support. I'll leave that for the district court. I am going to grant the visitation standard. But both of you need to you can do this 3-day and get a new hearing. You can appeal, but you can do it within the next 3 days, and you'll get a trial de novo, and that court will tell you, will make a decision that is independent of the decision that I'm making today. This is out of the 256th court. You have 3 days to appeal to that court. Having said that, let me say this. Both of you, if you're going to contest custody, need to hire attorneys so that they can put forth your claim or what you think should happen. And both of you seem to have had a lot of underlying issues. So you're probably going to need somebody who's going to be able to tell your story a lot more clearly than the two of you have told it so far. Now, Mr. Wright is going to email you a copy of this order. It's going to find that Mr. Navarro is going to be the primary caregiver of the child. Both of you are going to share that information, share that jointly. This is going to be joint managing conservatorship. I'm going to grant the non-disclosure. I'm going to order the child support and the cash medical support. But both of you need to appeal if you want to get custody of the child, okay?
I do have one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
To appeal, do I need to go down to the courthouse and do that, or do I do it online?
I'm not sure about the online, but I'm pretty sure you could do it without going down to the courthouse. Mr. Wright, would you make sure that they get a copy of the information on how to appeal?
I'm not sure we have like an official publication on that, but I can just make sure that that's included with
All right.
with this
Send it to both of them. Send it to both of them.
And real quick, Your Honor, if I can say, there is no domestic violence going on within my household. Within my parents, that was an ongoing.
Sir, that's the reason why this is a temporary order. You get to tell your whole story. You get
Yes,
to tell
sir.
it the way you want to tell it. Okay?
Also, so on you said the standard, so that's not expanded.
No,
So I
that's
don't,
not expanded. That is
I don't,
regular child support from 6 o'clock on Friday till 6 o'clock on Sunday.
okay, and I get him on Thursday from 6 to 8.
That's correct.
So are you putting this in order today in order for me to go pick him up today?
I don't know. Mr. Wright, are you going to be able to get this order out today?
I don't know if it'll be today, but yeah, it'll be soon. So I mean, if we need it today, I can try to get it today.
Okay,
Okay.
can y'all, I mean, is it okay for me to come pick him up from the Chick-fil-A today?
Not
Him?
unless you have the order. I want you to have the order, so in the event something goes wrong, you can show the police that you have the right to have possession of the child.
Okay, so I'll meet you there at 6 if we do receive the order today in time.
Right. I'm sure it's an email, so it shouldn't take but a few clicks for him to be able to get that to you.
Okay, let's get straight to it. Here are my comments. First of all, let's go back to that court reporter. I'm sorry, we have to go back to that court reporter. I don't know where they found this lady, this court reporter at. I mean, I don't know if they got her from Walmart, Tinder, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. I don't know where they got her from. Wherever they got this court reporter from, please send her back. Because I have never in my life witnessed somebody so unprofessional in my entire life. Like, look at her face right now. Look. Notice that the green thing you see here, that's the father talking, right? The father's talking. This little green line you seeing, it highlights who's talking. Look at her face. This just me like a random pause throughout the vid that just capture everything about this reporter. You can tell she have either 1, daddy issues, 2, baby daddy issues, 3, hatred for men, and 4, just flat out unprofessional. In a court hearing, you have to understand that any sudden movement can dictate the outcome of the case. Like, the judge should have told her, hey, please stop. This is very unprofessional. Stop the head nod. Stop moving around. Stop making these facial expressions. It is uncalled for, because you have to understand these type of movements can dictate or influence a judge ruling. So I'm disappointing the judge for not putting his foot down and say, hey, ma'am, please stop. Because keep that in mind. I could tell this might not be her first time doing this. Because if you are so comfortable to do this in front of a judge, inside of a court hearing, a Zoom recording, you are a court reporter. You record things. That's your job. Like, if you are able to do this, that means you've done this before. I mean, if not, this must be like your first court hearing? You just got hired yesterday? Keep your personal opinions, personal feelings outside the hearing. You're not the baby mama in this case. What you think doesn't matter. Even if your past boyfriend, ex, baby daddy did you wrong, that should not bleed into these ex-couples, parents, situations. The child's not your child, ma'am. I don't care how much you hate man. I don't care how much a man broke your heart. Keep that feeling outside. If you can't keep your feeling from bleeding out, then this job is not for you. Let's go back to the judge. One thing I did not like that the judge did is that when the mother was speaking, he just listened to her, right? But when the father started talking about his point of view, his side of the story, notice how the judge quickly said, well, Mr. Navarro, I think that's his last name, what did you do wrong? It couldn't be just her. It got to be y'all both, or you. Like, you had to do something wrong too. Like, dude, what? That was also unprofessional. Like, this is my time to tell my story. It's not about me saying, here's what I did wrong. No, this is a court battle, a court hearing, a custody battle. She told her part of the story. Here's my part. You can't tell me that what I'm saying to you is a lie. Allow her to prove it. She should disclaim my truth. Just like how I have to disclaim her truth. It's not your job to say without no actual evidence that, oh, well, what did you do wrong? If that's the case, then cool. Then tell her the exact same thing. I just told you that this woman got arrested, being aggressive, for fighting, all that kind of stuff, which she agreed, admit to, did not deny. But yet you telling me that, well, what did you do wrong? Dude, wait, what? So I did not like that at all. You know? And these are some things that, as you can see from this video, this is why man abuse is so important, because I want to put a spotlight on stuff like this. There are a lot of great moms out there. Like, I don't want to put every mom in one category. But what I must, and there are some bad dads out there. You know, I don't put all dads in one category. But there's a pattern, though. You can see that a lot of fathers, this is what they go through inside the courtroom. It seems like everybody just really against them. Like, from this court reporter, you know, you could tell she's against the father. The judge, even him saying, well, what did you do wrong? But yet not, you know, asking the mother the exact same thing. Now, that's just my thought regarding the judge. Now, let's get back to the actual parents, right? What they did wrong and what they did right. Number one, they both should have got an attorney. You know, y'all kids, right? Y'all just telling stories right now, and it's hard for me to really comment on their actual stories of what happened and who's abusive and who's not abusive, who's the aggressor, who's not the aggressor, and so on and so on. The only truth that was told that I could say, okay, this is the truth, because they both agree, was that the father had the child for the past 6 months. They both agreed, okay, that is the truth. As far as the story goes, I didn't see any type of documents presented, any kind of witnesses presented. So it's really all he say, she say. And another reason why it's so hard to really comment on their stories, because you have to understand, these are babies having babies. These are kids. The father had the child when he was 15 years old in high school. And the mom's a little bit older. She was maybe around, maybe I'm guessing 17, maybe 1 year older, maybe 16. Now he's 18 years old and she's 19 years old, right? I'm just doing the math based on the child's age. So these are teenagers. I'm not making excuses for them, you know, but these are kids out of high school. Of course, they're going to be bickering back and forth. Now, when grown adults in these court hearings go back and forth, now y'all too grown for that, right? Y'all just way too grown. But these are kids fresh out of high school. Now, nevertheless, though, y'all both was grown enough to have sex. The mother was grown enough to open her legs. The father was grown up to ski inside her legs, right? So y'all old enough to create a child. So that means once that child comes out and that child's born, you have to adult up. But these kids, get an attorney, you know, stop the bickering. The good thing is, though, since they're so young, there's a chance that they can grow out of this back and forth, out of this foolery. A lot of time when it's like adults that are co-parenting and they going back and forth trying to rip each other's head off, you know, they're just old. They can't really outgrow out of it. It's rare. It'll be like that forever. At least like when they're so young, they can eventually say, you know what, that was dumb of me to do this to you in court. That me too. That was very dumb. They could grow out of it eventually. That's the good thing about them being so young and going to this custody battle. And then I think it was fair that the mother ended up paying child support. I mean, the father had the child more. It's also fair that the father received temporary primary custody of the child. I mean, the child been living with the father for the past 6 months. So it only makes sense, right? So that's my thought. Just get an attorney, and then they'll help you guys navigate your story properly and also provide the correct evidence and the correct witnesses. These are just my thoughts overall, man. But I would love to hear your thoughts about it, this entire video. It was very interesting, but the main thing that I disliked so much was the court reporter. That was disgusting. That was like, she was worse than the mother and the father. Like, usually, you know, I'm trying to pinpoint who's really in the wrong. I can't really go ham at the mother for this video. I have to go ham on the freaking court reporter. What are you doing here? Why are you here? Okay, but anyway, wait, am I tripping? Let me know. Like, let me know. Maybe, okay, am I overreacting? If I am, let me know if I'm overreacting. You know, so do that by commenting below. What were your thoughts about the entire video? What were your thoughts about the judge, both the mom and the dad? I mean, I think the dad, you know, he did best he could without an attorney, staying calm. The mom was a little too aggressive, but both of them need an attorney. That's my bottom line. Like, they're not really good at. It just looked like a bunch of kids going back and forth. But yeah, what's your thoughts about the court reporter? You know, was she in the wrong? Is she in the wrong? Did she did nothing wrong? Is she professional, unprofessional? Like, let me know what's your thoughts about this lady right here. So yeah, but as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.